Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, but I know we have Patricia in the house today, and we want to have some joy and growth and compassion together, especially if any one of you who is listening right now, you feel that you need some kind of spark in your life, either because you has been in the plateau after achieve certain things, or maybe because you actually still fighting what is truly matters. We have Mike Patricia here today to bring us some insights and inspiration. Patricia, come on in and share with us about you.
Hello, Jan. How are you doing?
Doing great. Yeah, thanks
Yes,
for asking.
yes. So I'm great. I'm very good. I'm just here to share my story, answer your questions, and connect with you so we can spread some love. But essentially, just you want me to introduce myself? Is that it? You want me to introduce myself
Yes,
or?
I know
Oh,
that today the kind of very few times that the Patricia actually be interviewed. She often interview many different people. You can check out on her LinkedIn and her all the channels to hear these interviews. But today we want to dig into the interviewer Patricia from her story. So let us know a bit more about how did you get started with this journey or this purposeful journey.
oh boy. Yes. So I will go back in time a little bit. I'm the daughter of Haitian immigrant parents to Canada. And
Mm-hmm.
I've had a very happy childhood, very smooth. And we were well taken care of, loved, went to private schools and did all those activities. So I had a very good life, but I always felt very successful in school too. So, but I always had a feeling of void. Like, why am I here? What's
Mm,
the point? And so I felt a feeling of inadequacy, very low self-esteem that
mm-hmm.
developed as a consequence to something that happened to me in my childhood. So very low self-esteem. And then I started having very problematic behaviors. And for that reason, anyway, I never felt like I had any purpose. And I was always
Mm,
trying to look outwards to get to feel that the void was getting filled. And so, trying to have a child, trying to find that in other partners. And anyway, some cyclical patterns happened. And then in September 2018, I was at, completely demolished. Even if from the outside, nobody knew. I looked very successful, I had a very comfortable career in the federal government. I had a daughter, healthy family, but from the outside, I looked great and happy, but on the inside, I was demolished.
mm,
So, and then I was faced with a choice to either continue what I was doing or to start a healing journey.
mm.
And good thing I started a healing journey to try to change things.
Yeah.
There's a lot more that I will be sharing as you ask me more questions, but essentially, this is what put me on the crossroad. And this book had a lot to do with it. The Power
Wow.
of Self-Discipline, No Excuses by
Yeah.
Brian Tracy. A lot of things in there got me to where I am
Mm,
today, where I just want to help women in need. So the women,
mm,
and I say women, basically, from what I'm doing, a lot of men are even impacted, to be honest. But it's not that I don't want to help. I want to help any human. But
yeah.
particularly, I feel the need that if I help the women that I have to help, a
Mm,
lot of the problems will go away for a lot of people.
yeah.
So the women who suffer, I have a whole list, but women who suffer from low self-esteem, even the
Mm,
power women who feel alone,
mm,
and who feel unheard or who don't feel like a sense of satisfaction in their life.
yeah.
Women who are codependent, women who are in abusive relationship with men. So these women, I want to help them because
Mm,
they're raising children, you understand? And the patterns keep repeating because they
yeah.
were hurt because they were hurt.
Mm,
They were hurt because someone else was hurt above them. So this is what I'm trying to do with everything that you see that I do is to try to help people find their voice and yeah, where they
yeah.
fit in
As
the
a
world, if
mother,
anything.
as a empowerer, and you has helped people, and I just really want to dig into that state where you started feeling something not right? Because you achieved a certain thing, and there's a lot of friends here who also achieved certain things. And then you said that at that time, from outside, you look like happy and great. And then from inside, you didn't feel that right. So how could people actually acknowledge that and really be honest? Because you're probably acknowledged by the outsiders, but then you had to be like working for the inner self and really say, oh, see, this is actually something I had to do something about it. How can people actually, yeah, be honest with that? How did you do
So there are
that?
a few, yes, there are a few things that come to mind. The first thing they have to do is shut down the noise. There's too much noise. We cannot even hear ourselves thinking because we wake up, we're on social media, we have to make breakfast, go to work, and work late, come back, work out, meet people, help families. So, and then we go back to sleep and then it starts all over again the next day. We just never stop to even see that there may be a problem. And what made a big difference for me is when I was asked by a very wise man called Luc Dumont. He told me that his life, he's changing the world really with what he's doing. But he asked me the question, what if you were, I'm going to ask you, Jen, if you have to have a discussion with your 100-year-old self, okay, you're on your deathbed, you're about to die. What do you think she would tell you to do differently from today until you make it there so that you live a life with no regret? And when he asked me that, I was 40 years old and I had lived a whole life in regret. I should not have done this at 17. I should not have done this. I should have done that. I shouldn't pick that partner or done this or that. So I felt it was just too late, which is silly when I think about it because I was still 40. But when he told me this, I go, wait a minute. If I live until I'm 80 years old, that gives me another 40 years to live the life I'm supposed to be living and to do things right. So when he told me that, it was like, that completely shook me. I go, oh my God, I can change things. And that's when I didn't want to be on social media. I didn't want to be anywhere. You could not find my face before, I think last August 2020, I did not exist on the internet because I didn't want, first of all, I didn't feel confident to come out and speak. And I was very private. But now I said, you know what? It doesn't matter what people think because I have a purpose now and I found my voice thanks to Toastmasters that helped me with that. And I'm going to just help whoever wants to be helped and whoever doesn't need to be helped just doesn't need to listen to me. But that's when I decided that it's in your power to change things when you just choose to make sure that your future you will die with no regrets. I just want her to die with no regrets. Pretty much it.
Lovely, beautiful. Anyone who is listening right now with us, let's kind of visualize the 100 years old, or maybe we want to live up to 120, all right? Or maybe somebody like 80, like you said, or 90. Then visualize that person in front of the door every morning and like ask us to do one thing or to do one or two, three things to build up that version. And yeah,
Can I
I
add
just think
something else? Even if it's 2 weeks, we don't know how long we have left. We don't know,
wow,
right?
that's
We live in the
beautiful.
world.
Oh, 1 hour.
Yes, make it count. Make sure she or he still dies with no regret. Yes, so that's why I'm going through life being ready because we never know when it can happen, right? But yes.
Yeah, so the idea is like to imagine that the moment you probably like not in this planet, and what is that feeling you want to feel? You want to feel that you have lived the life, and so what are you going to do now? A beautiful practice. So what was that for you at that time? It was like to be seen, and then after that did you like have some kind of conflicts because it's a new journey, right? And you step into that. How was that?
So yes, if there's so the challenges, of course there are challenges. First thing, I joined Toastmasters
Oh,
because pardon?
there's a community around you.
Yes, because now I felt the need to help these women. Okay, so that was revealed to me through my work, my healing work and my spirituality and my journaling. It came clear I had to help these women, but I speak very fast. Even now, you could see I speak fast. That's my natural way of speaking. And I stuttered a lot. So I really struggled to express myself and structure myself. So I figured, how am I supposed to help these women? First of all, I'm not on social media. How am I going to find them? And even if I found them, why would they listen to me? And I can't even speak. Why would they? You understand? So then that's when there was a chapter in this book actually that said, learn to speak on your feet. Join a group like Toastmasters. So right away, like within a few weeks, I visited a few clubs. For whoever does not know what Toastmasters is, it's a nonprofit organization. We have about 290,000 members worldwide and about 15,000 clubs, and we can show up in any countries, in Taiwan and Japan and Africa and the US, everywhere. And we just meet for like an hour or an hour and a half, depending, and we just speak. And by speaking every week, we fight this panic that we have in the fear of public speaking that most people have, and that's how we become more comfortable. So that was a challenge I had to overcome. Like, I cannot speak, I need to learn how to speak. So I started joining Toastmasters and getting involved, connecting with people. We connected on social media, you and I, right? So stepping out from my comfort zone so that I can just, share a message, and it's funny, I dealt with one particular challenge, is that at one point, I wanted to start inviting others, because when I started my YouTube channel, I just wanted to share my message. But then somebody invited herself on Urmi. Hi, Urmi. She invited herself on my YouTube channel. Oh, I want to be on your podcast. I said, I have no podcast. So we started speaking, and I just invited like 20 world champions, okay? In the top 8 or the top world champion. I figured maybe statistically speaking, because my brain is still very statistics, I studied in computer science. And I said, maybe 10% of them will say yes. But the problem is that they all said yes. And some of them maybe not right away, but some of them, yes, I can. I'm busy right now, but in a few months. So now I was stuck with like 20, like Verity Price or Mark Brown, all these people saying, yes, I go, I don't have time. And my sister passed away in all of that. But yes, thanks. That was a huge challenge. I really struggled with this. And that's exactly one thing that made me realize, my gosh, she died at 46, right? So anything can happen at any moment, basically. So this is why it's important to not wait. Anyway, I digress. So the point is, I was faced with that too many people to interview in only so many hours. I do this part-time. This is for the fun of it. Well, yeah. I'm trying to help people, but I have a job, a full-time, very demanding job. So I just ran out of time. So I guess because I'm single, I was able to do this, but I was able to work a lot of hours. But those were the challenges that I faced. And sometimes I have feelings that I'm not good enough, or those feelings of inadequacy comes back. Yeah. And I'm like, I question, what are you even doing? Like, who cares? And I have to like remind myself, maybe one person cares. And I have testimonies from people, I'm sure you do too, that say that they were inspired or whatever. So I keep going for that one person that may want to hear me. So those are, in a nutshell, the challenges I faced.
Wow. That's beautiful. And it's like every one of us may has the voice from the previous experiences. And as you said, you actually give it a shot, and you lose nothing by just contacting people. And then it turns out that your energy and your intention makes them say yes. And step by step, you build up that energy and confidence.
Yes. It starts even at the Toastmasters Club when we meet regularly. I'm saying Toastmasters, there are a lot of different public speaking groups, but when we're just getting out and doing something, there's a lot of power in action, basically.
So from that until now, how do you see your energy? And is this the version that you see yourself when you leave the planet, or is any kind of part of that you still involve over time?
Sorry, I'm not sure I got that. Can you repeat that?
It's like because it seems like you are in really good stage now, right? It seems like that is a and so do you have any kind of thing that you still kind of try to figure out, or because I think there's people will be asking like, you get to that stage and what is next, right?
Oh my goodness. Oh no, good if I look like I have it together, but no, I'm learning. And that's why I call it a journey, because it will take a long time. I'm not done learning how to express myself. There are a lot of things I want to do, but Just trying to see how I can answer this. It's never over. So first of all, I can become a better speaker. And like now, I've never done a live. I'm a control freak. Okay. I like to plan for everything. So I have a plan A, a plan B, plan C, plan D. That's how my brain works. I structure everything like this. So I don't like being in a live where I don't know what can happen. We can have a power outage. I can get sick. My daughter can wake up, make some noise. Like anything can happen, right? So I like to plan. So I never do live. So although I'm comfortable with you, I said yes to you because I love your energy. Yes, I see you working. You're doing beautiful things in the world. So that's why I wanted to be here. But so yes, so I constantly say yes when I want to say no. But we have to be careful. Sometimes we have to say no when our body tells us, when our intuition or our body tells us no, like, because sometimes I don't want to do too much. I almost had a burnout. Actually, at one point because I was doing too much. But sometimes when I say yes, so when it's aligned with where I'm trying to go with my purpose to help people, and I see somebody else trying to do the same thing, then that's definitely reason to say yes when I want to say no to a live, because anything can happen.
Lovely, because actually you touched on the point of intuition. How did you develop that? Because I think it seemed like you had that when you started feeling like something not right, and then you turn to a new career, and that's kind of like the intuition develop over time. So how could people connect to that so they can kind of move forward with the alignment from in and outside?
Okay, so we all have in the intuition at different levels, but our inner voice or little inner self or inner child, I think it's called sometimes. So, but we choose to ignore that inner person, or we're just too busy to even pay attention. Okay? So I went on a few silent retreats. I find my alignment with my connection with God, basically. Okay, so that's what helped me come out from my previous past. I decided to give a chance to spirituality, because all my life I was very cerebral, mathematics, science. I was raised Catholic, right? But my brain was very like, no, this doesn't make any sense, And when I was a teenager, I lost interest and I lived my life the way that I did. And now, and it's not many people that made it really to the top, and I won't name them, but known figures, they turned to a higher power. When you're able to surrender and know that not everything is in your control, especially for somebody that's a control freak like me, not everything is in my control. Like I can control everything I can control, but at the end of the day, it's beyond me. You understand? So this is shutting down the noise and listening to, whether you call it your inner self or connecting to nature. Some people don't believe in God, but they believe in, nature, or they do yoga, different practices. It doesn't matter what spiritual practice you do, but just really shutting down the noise so that you can hear that voice that you need to hear, that wants to be heard.
Wow, beautiful. So you mentioned that before about the shutting the noises and have some practices, but everyone may use different one. So we had the journey where you started feeling something not right, and you listen to your inner voice and you get to the new journey. How could you define that? Would be the how, because the how for you to align with the inner voice is about helping other people to find that purpose, to really have that voice. How could you define that is the thing, not about like to us or maybe to another ways like musician. How was that?
So, okay, again, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to understand. Well, one thing I'm going to start saying is that Mark Brown says it the best, so I won't even try to invent it. It's like, your life tells a story, and there's someone out there who needs to hear it. So, yes. And also there's this other book that I read, it's very good. Sorry, I'm full of, Don't Drop the Mic. And it's like, don't drop the microphone, is that when we don't speak, we don't realize it, but there is a consequence to us not stepping into our purpose, because somebody that we could help is not getting help because we're not speaking, or because we're not sharing our story, basically. And I'm not saying just going out there on lives and just talking about everything that's going on in your kitchen, but really just trying to share a message, because if we started trying to spread some light, the world right now that we live in really needs a little bit of help. Okay. There are a lot of negative things happening. And I feel that when one person like you, like Khan, or anybody that's watching us, when we step up and we try to make the world a better place, we're in a way better position. So all I'm trying to do is just share the tools that help me so that I can help others. And it may or may not help them. And maybe some things that I did will help, some others won't. So this is why I split my Patty Pat's journey into two streams. There's Patty Pat's spiritual journey and Patty Pat's speaking journey, because I'm very passionate about the both. So if you're not interested in the spiritual side, you could just watch my public speaking. If you're not interested in the public speaking, you're just interested in the spirituality, you have something. So I'm just trying to cover everybody can possibly help.
Yeah,
And so
with the same kind of thing, like having that sense of purpose and that sense of you somebody who's matters, and everyone matters, and everyone has something that can help others. So you still working in your full-time job now, or?
yes, I love my
Oh,
job.
so
Yes, this is I
I
do
was
all this
also
part-time.
like a engineer, so I really feel like
Yes.
there's some connection here, but I'm sure that I know some of that energy engineer thing. So how could you actually have that kind of super energy? Because if you look at what Patricia has done with her work in empowerment regarding spiritual or regarding speaking, probably we think like, oh, it's full time, and it's all the kind of energy and the, let's say, the excellence you put in there. How a person who started feeling their voice and they're still having a full-time job, right? How could they still maintain that purpose and that feeling of mission when they do that full-time job?
Yes, I have to say, Jen, I'm really impressed. I was reading about you, and you actually left that life to fully go into what you're doing right now. You're everywhere on a. Oh, I'm gonna have to invite you to my show so we can talk just about you. But so you need, how can I? Because that's the thing. I love my job. I have the best colleagues. I have the best
Oh,
bosses. And
they
I
love
have
you
a
too, I think.
project. Oh, yes, it's very mutual. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So I have a certain project, a certain deadline, and we all told each other nobody's quitting. We've had even job offers and promotions. We're all saying, no, we're staying here. We're going to
Oh, I love
we're
that.
going to do, yes, yes. So that we're like a family. It's not even normal.
Wow.
So no, I have no reason to leave my job right now, and I'm very comfortable, but I'm able to do the things that I do because I'm very, very structured. I have the
Yeah,
life of like 2 or
discipline.
3 people. Yes, this exactly, that book changed my life. You should really read it. Brian Tracy, he's a game changer. But anyhow, yes, I plan my days. I plan for things that I know will be happening, and I plan for things that I don't know may be happening. So I always have some leeway. Yes, I'm lucky I don't have young children anymore, but even then, there's always a way to get some help. Sometimes we want to control. I know a very loving mother who's always on top of her children, but they're over 10 years old now. They can become more autonomous. So you can try to free time, use resources around you, but I just really make time. I
Yeah.
stop watching TV. You know how many hours people spend on social media and just on Facebook? If you count all the, your phone are able to count the times we spend doing things that don't matter, or
Yeah.
what can I call it? Time wasters, just time
Yeah.
wasters.
Or like, let's say,
Where,
short-term strategies to make us feel good.
yes, basically, it's just when we remove all the hours, all the minutes, it gives you days,
Yeah,
at the end
yeah.
of the day. So that's how I do all the things that I do. I set things, I need to do this and that and that. And sometimes I cannot finish everything that I have set out because I have ambitious plans, but
Yeah.
I just push it to the next day. But I'm organized. I journal, I have an agenda, I have an electronic one, and I have a physical one. So I'm very, anyway, I watch less TV. Now I started integrating more TV just to see what's going on in the world. Some news and also some shows to see what others, the people I'm trying to talk to, what are they watching? Because whether we know it or not, Jen, we're competing with everything out there. It's not just competing with YouTube. Well, it's not really competition, but there's I don't know, TV shows, the Netflix, right? And there's Amazon Prime, and there's the movie. So everything that can remove, even Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. A lot of people spend a lot of time on YouTube. So there's so much content out there. We don't even know where to look, right? So
Yeah.
I just try to do my best to share my message, and again, hope that it will land to, end up on the laptop or on the phone of whoever needs to see it.
Yeah, I think there's something here that we can make like become a topic, and it's so beautiful that you really know what you want in life. And then it doesn't mean that we had to leave up this job, because it can become like a trendy thing, right? To quit that and then start something. But as you said, you feel happy. And so having that clarity, like the job is a tool for that, right? And if we're happy with that and it's meaningful, then it's great. And you're also talking about cutting down all the things and be disciplined. So how can people be disciplined in like the way that they feel happy? Because I think a lot of people think discipline means that it's kind of miserable, but I think it like look like you is so happy, right? So how can people shift the view of discipline and view it to become a friend of them?
Yes. So discipline is not, I know when we hear discipline, we hear authority or
Like
stopping you
army.
from living. Like, oh, I can't be free. I have to be disciplined. No.
Yeah.
So when you, the thing is, discipline allows you, oh, actually, I'm going to quote Brian Tracy right now. Discipline, the definition of discipline is doing what needs to be done, when you need to do it, whether you want to do it or not.
Oh.
Okay. And so, and it's not because, for example, a lot of people struggle with weight. Okay, they're especially in Western, the Western world, we eat too much. Okay, we don't move a lot, and we eat too much, and then we become overweight. It's not comfortable to be big. Like I've been big. I had to deal with that because I love to eat, and I used to love drinking wine and eat desserts. I overdid it with my previous lifestyle, so it's just, it feels good in your mouth, right? But then you can't bend over properly. You feel swollen. You don't feel good. You have no energy. So there's a cost to not having discipline, basically. So there's a way. So now I have a system in place where I eat, a certain times a day, and I have a certain routine that I do so that I can look and feel great. I'm 43 years old now, and
You
I
look very
feel.
young.
Thank you so much.
The
So do you.
mind.
You look like you could be in your 20s.
Thanks.
Yes. So let's keep growing well.
Mm.
Grow with Jen, grow well. And so so basically you're just limiting yourself so you can benefit later. Same thing with money,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
When you discipline yourself with money, when you're not spending money left and right, and you're saving, like my mom was able to send me to private school as a cleaning lady because, well, she started her own business as a woman at home while she was working as a cleaning lady, as I said, but we always had a nice meal. She took care of my father. My father was also working, but the point is she started a second job, and then she started, when I was a teenager, so I was able to have a lot of benefits because she was able to save money. Like when I go to the grocery store, I just buy food, whatever. Okay, I want to eat this now. I want to eat lobster. I want to eat steak. I buy whatever I want. But my mom said, no, this is on special. I'm going to buy what's on special because it's less expensive. So all those disciplines sent me to higher education. You understand? So it's just, there's a lot of power in being able to limit yourself so that you can live a limitless
Yeah.
life, basically,
To limit
financially.
something to be unlimited at something.
Yes, well said.
Oh, I hear this one and I love this. It's like you said, is to actually let go the short-term great feelings to actually have long-term sustainable thing, right? Because the short term is normally it's like very easy to just
Yeah.
choose, but in the long run, it's like it will make us feel like no, yeah, this is not what I want. So I really like to bring in that discipline. Is like it actually give us the freedom in the long run and sustainable. Oh, you have a very nice cup. Oh, that's good.
Oh, thank you. I painted it myself. I do that to relax also. I like to paint.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that, right? Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
So I had a question for my friend, and I think we had a topic about really having that purpose or that kind of meaning that we really want. to have in our life in one or another way, or everyone has different story and different stage of life. But that feeling of meaning or purpose is like something that make us feel the motivation to wake up every day, go beyond of the situation, and go beyond of the even run out of electricity, right? And find a way. So, or maybe the crying of the children and all the things. So I have a question from friend who kind of in a young age, and which means that she does not experience as you or somebody who was like in the more than 30 or 40. So she just graduated and she has been in a lot of different jobs like interns, and she always had a belief that she want to have the freedom, right? And the freedom to do something that matter. But then what she's doing right now, working with others people, also make her having that sense and grows a lot because she has opportunity to do things that maybe it takes 10 years for you to do. So how can she actually know what is the right thing to do, right? Because she does not experience enough to know that probably she should continue the working with others, or she should actually follow the freedom of entrepreneur that she wants to have.
Yes, very good question. Oh my
Yeah, it seems to
goodness.
be like the very thing of ambitious young people out there, right?
Yes. My daughter is 19. She's going to be 20. Okay. So just I can
Wow.
understand exactly where that young viewer is in her life. So I don't find it fair that society expects young people to know what field of study to go to or what job to do. How are you supposed to know what you want to do? You didn't try anything. You don't know anything, right? Except for what you see maybe on TV or what people share with you, what you see your parents do. But often kids don't want to do what their parents want to do.
Mm,
But so what I would recommend for her, clearly she seems to not want to fit into the regular typical
mm,
job. She wants to do her
mm.
own thing. So I
Yeah.
think that she already has an idea, but I would encourage her to explore the world.
Mm,
Okay, so there are a lot of there are a lot of resources in the world right now. You could go on YouTube. Okay, research anything you want to do. I don't
mm.
know, how do I start a business? How do I become a hairdresser? Like anything that you would
Yeah.
want to do, you just research it and you hear people share their story, right? And
Mm,
that way you can actually find out, you can research like even something like, I'm throwing this out there, like a Toastmasters club. Okay, it doesn't look like much, but maybe that young viewer needs the confidence, because whatever
yeah.
you want to do, you need the confidence. You think I would start 2 YouTube channels if it wasn't for Toastmasters that gave me the confidence to
Yeah.
like even start opening my mouth, you understand? So just build your confidence and explore the world, try different things. And I know it's not good when you try too many jobs, because in the resume, it looks like you can't keep a job, you know?
It's like
So
she's gonna leave the job after 1 year. That's a pattern.
yeah, I know exactly. But that's the thing. There used to be a lot of value given to loyalty. And because I used to work for, like, I've been working for my employer for about 20 years, but I always changed jobs within. I always,
Mm,
but even at the bank before, I was there for many years. And it's just before it was reputable to be 30, 40, 50 years in a job. But now you become not even marketable because you plateau at one point. There's only so many skills you can learn in a place, right?
yeah.
So you have to navigate through that and just, I mean, if you're happy, stay, right? Like I'm staying in my job. I love my job right now. But eventually that's, I would like to spend more time speaking, in women's shelters that abuse women and
Mm,
jails for women.
mm,
So I want to be able to use my voice in other forms, right? So that's
mm,
eventually, but there's a way to do a job to pay your bills, right? Young
mm.
viewer. And it's okay to have a part-time job and you do this part-time. And
Yeah.
it sounds like I'm hoping you may not even have kids. That's even better. You're free. If you're free, if that's your case, you can, because there's some parents that go back to school and learn,
Right.
and you know how difficult it is with a child saying, I'm
Yeah.
hungry, mommy. So if
Mm.
you have that freedom, you can just do any job. It doesn't matter. I've done all the jobs. I've cleaned bathrooms. I've
Uh,
I've done all kinds of different jobs, but you just do something to pay the bills so that you can have less stress in like
yeah.
performing or doing well. So
Mm.
it removes some stress actually when you have some money coming in. And then maybe you have family that can help you, your parents could support you hopefully, but then you start learning. I had no idea what YouTube was, what a YouTube thumbnail was. I knew nothing last year, and I started now. As I said, I have 2 YouTube channels, right? So there's stuff you can learn, and and you have to be willing to fail. Okay, I'm speaking for Darren Lacroix says this the best in his World Championship speech, but you need to be prepared to break your face,
Yeah.
because we want to do things so well. We want to have good
Yeah.
grades and do well and be good at the job and be recognized at the job. But sometimes you need to be willing to, I might embarrass myself. I may make myself a fool of myself. We don't like to look stupid, right?
Yeah.
So just being prepared to make mistakes and to learn. And I'm going to finish answering this question by saying this, that I read this somewhere. I don't know, this is not me inventing this, but somebody said that whenever things happen in your life, it is either a lesson, a gift, or a test. I really like that.
Which one you choose?
Well, that's the thing. It depends on what it is. Sometimes I'm being tested, but sometimes I find things are a gift because I'm very grateful. I do a lot of grateful practices, but also it's a lesson. So something that you would say, this is awful. It happened to me. I can't believe this happened, but there's something to learn from it, and you can do better after.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I think like a young friend can take a lot from here. We just keep exploring, and important to really listen to the inner self to really know, like, is this right or is this not right? And keep growing and keep expanding either the bigger vision for ourselves or the skill sets, as you said. It can start with that, or maybe trying some habits that you have mentioned and see whether we not experience some dimension of ourselves. I have another question. Like, so this is kind of like a question for the generation of like around 22 to 30 or so. So we're now moving a bit further. I think it maybe Miss Kang will relate a lot to that, right? Because she had the setback, and I think also man, I had this question and send it to you. So if we actually like now we achieve a certain thing, we build a business well, but we feel like not right. It's like the business setup and the team probably can run it, but we don't feel dry as before. And people see actually we are quite successful. So how can that person to really bring that spark back again? Because this is like the case of some of our like business owners, and they started feeling that plateau. So how they can start off the process of really finding the spark again, the purpose again.
Yes. So that goes by, okay, it goes back to the why did they even get started in the first place? Did they inherit the business of somebody, or is it from their parents, or is it something that they built themselves? So let's say they built it themselves. Regardless, now you're in a situation right now. You've done whatever you've done and you're here, but you don't, if you're bored or you're feeling a plateau, that means you don't want to stay here. So you need to redefine what do I want this to look like? So you need to find a way to go back down at the drawing board. Hopefully you have good people on your team that are helping you. You can take like a whole whiteboard and start writing, what are the values? Where do I want to go? What do we want our clients to feel? Because sometimes when we feel too comfortable as business owners, it's dangerous because are your clients feeling that you're getting comfortable, or are you staying competitive? What is the cause of you not taking action? So I would definitely make a plan to try to see, what if you were the client? What if you were the customer? What would you expect from the business owner? You understand? So just always, and learning, again, there's books. And when I say books, there are a lot of people who made it, like they've made it in life, Warren Buffett or the Ryan Tracy's of this world, all these people who are sharing tools, their secrets, literally. Yes, they're selling a product, a book, but they're still sharing their ideas in the brain. So don't listen to me. I'm just getting started here, right? There are a lot of very smart people out there sharing tools on how to promote your business and how to market things differently. Maybe they're doing great, but they can get double the clients, you understand, if they were able to learn how to speak, use their voice, use social media platforms. There's so many. I'm on 5 social media platforms. I suspect there are more. But the point is, there are different ways to adjust your language or your service to meet certain needs. So I would invite them to just go back and start your homework all over from scratch to see. Just an example, one little thing. Take a barber, a hairdresser. The hairdressers where I know my hair is looking wild right now. I'm doing them myself, but I've been to different
Yeah, we want to have the hair
hairdressers.
like you. And
That's
maybe
very
you want to have a hair like us.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I accept my hair the way that they are. But yeah, we're never happy with our hair, but now I've accepted my hair the way
good.
that it is. That's why. But the thing is, you can go, I'm sure you know, you go to the hairdresser sometimes, Jen, right? So I'm assuming because you have nicely cut hair. So sometimes you can go to a nice place, you know, and it smells nice. There's some nice decoration. It's clean. They pick up the hair on the floor.
Yeah.
And then you have another barber where everything's dirty. There's trash. There are boxes piled up until the ceiling. It doesn't make you want to go there, you understand? Because it doesn't look nice. It's just not a clean environment. You may go because you like the hairdresser, but it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. So again, there's a way to like look at what do you have? Can you make it look nicer if you have a garage shop or whatever business you have, even on social media? Can you make it look more pretty? You know, can you fix your intro video? Can you fix? So there's always something that you can do to enhance the experience of your end user, basically. So I would invite them to just like step out, look out your window from your store, physical or social. What would you think if you were looking at that, and how can you make it better when you compare it to what other people are doing that you like?
Yeah, I love that. I think this is really like why did he or she start at the first place and really do that, what do you call it, homework again, because that is hard work. But the hard feeling in that doing the work may create the spark for the time that you have found the plateau. So I know that like in myself, my case, I always know that when I don't do that work, I feel like, oh my God, it's not clear. But after doing that work, even at that time, maybe not that fun, but after that, it started getting it things clear. And the story of getting back to interview people is also coming from the moment that I just write down and do that homework again. And I found like a part of me really want to listen to the stories of people. And when I don't interview people anymore, I don't know you feel it or not, I started feeling a missing a part. It's like I interview people that I work with, but the people from all over the world right now, we have a chance to connect. So that homework is really helps in this process. I really like you to answer what we call like the very final stage of the conversation. It's about people asking some very direct question. It's like to take away something. And we know that you have interviewed a lot of people and you kept sharing some books, but I think you are a great book because you have the books of other people in you. So people want to ask them like, what is the time you interview someone that you cry? And
That happened a few times actually. Oh, that's the
the
question.
one
Okay.
that you
So there's two things that are coming to mind. I have to bring up, well, there are two times. I'll just tell you quickly. Rina Romano, she is a survivor and I actually interviewed her, obviously, and she had a message. She had been abused, you know, most of her life, basically, or as a young adult, and she wanted to find so she wanted to find a way to frame the message to help others like her come out from the situation, etc. Okay. And now she's doing fantastic things, changing legislations in the United States to change the statute of limitation on the on the that protected the abusers versus the abused victim. So that when she was sharing a part of her that interview definitely made me cry because I was able to put myself in her shoes. So that's one thing. And a second time, Linda Marie Miller, I just interviewed her recently, and she was very passionate lady. She was the second best speaker in the world, actually, Linda Marie in 2020, after Mike Carr. And she was just sharing how she just wants to make the world a better place. And her huge passion is to make people feel like they matter, that every single human on earth matters. And she was getting so emotional, sharing a story, a very unfair story of something that happened to someone, a friend of hers who's in jail unfairly when she was defending herself. And that story really moved me. So those are two instances where I was very, very emotional. And at that point, I was not live, but I could not control it. I'm sure it probably happened to you too. It's just, it moves you when you hear those stories. So those are two examples.
Well, what did you do after that?
Well, I shared their interview. So basically, because I moved, but that just reminds me why I'm doing what I'm doing. Even if I don't have any views or whatever, it's just a reminder like, oh my God, that story moved me. It will very likely move somebody else. And no, I'm just very happy. I'm grateful when those moments happen. As I told you, Jen, I don't care about anything anymore. I just want to live my life, and I'm living my emotions. I'm honoring my feelings, and so obviously I'm doing what I can to spread some light and some positivity in this world, some love that I think we really need. And when somebody shares their story and it moves me, I'm just happy that I'm still alive to feel those feelings. And I'm hoping I can touch somebody else.
I think that's a great takeaway. Like you said, you find the meaning and you reinforce the reason why you do what you're doing, because you have that emotion and it comes naturally. And I think the message also, like, your story matters, right? So I think that a beautiful part of like you keeping doing. And so we move to the next question. What is the experience where you laugh so hard you cannot stand that? What was that story?
Oh God. Oh, there's so many stories, but one thing, social media. I limit my social media time as much as possible. But I have to say, the things that I watch regularly are comedians that make me laugh. So I love to go to comedy shows, and so comedy shows definitely make me laugh. And also the comedians on social media, there are a few that I follow that crack me up, and I rewatch it all the time, and I just laugh like 10 minutes straight. You understand? So it's not necessarily a story. It's just people that make me laugh. I love laughter. We don't laugh enough as adults, okay? As children, if you look at children in the daycare, at school, they laugh, ha, 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 they're always like laughing and they see beauty in life. But us adults, we become serious. I can't laugh. I can't have fun. That's boring. So I create laughter. I surround myself with positivity. I removed all toxicity. Some of them, sometimes they're close to you, so you can't necessarily completely eliminate them, but I distance negativity and I surround myself with positive things. I don't see negative things on my feeds. I love laughter. So basically, it's not just one story. I try to laugh every day, many times a day, because we don't laugh enough. So I invite you, wherever you are at home, to find reasons to laugh, because why not? Because it's a therapy, actually. It's really a therapy.
So I think when people have some smiles or laughter today, just be seeing you when you share and the energy you have. So the next question would be, you have shared some books, right? And if we had to pick up one, what is the one that can help people to redefine that spark? That's one.
This one. Definitely The Power of Self-Discipline. This has everything. Will have you covered, whether you're a business owner or stay-at-home mom, whatever it is. This is the Bible, like literally, or whatever you believe in, Quran. But Brian Tracy, I don't know if you know him, but he's everything that matters in this world, how to set goals, how to have discipline. It's not just about discipline. It's just anything that you're not doing that you should be doing. By the time you're done with this book,
common sense, but not common practice.
Pardon?
Common sense, but not common practice, right?
That's correct. But you cannot, if you have anything you want to do that you're not doing yet, by the time you're done with this book, whatever it is, you will be able to accomplish it. Definitely, that's the one thing I would recommend. I have a lot more, but this one is the one that changed everything for me. There was another one also, actually one more. This one also, while I'm at it, since you're asking me. Oh, you said one book, I'm cheating. But 17 Minutes to Your Dream by Darren Lacroix. That one also, recently I was in a plateau, like, why am I doing this? And I read this because this was at the beginning when I first started, but this recently helped me create 17 minutes to make whatever I wanted happen. And that's happening right now. So yeah, those are my recommendations.
Lovely, everyone, and touching on all the points of getting started the journey, like the no excuses and the feeling of plateau, the 17 minutes. So, what if you have a book about Patricia, your life? What is that title?
Oh my goodness. That's a good question. That is one of the plans that I have. I just have to create time for that.
Ah,
I
okay.
started doing
And
it at
we
one
hear
point.
you alive. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I started writing one at one point, but I interrupted myself to publish my father's book. Sorry, he had an autobiography, so I stopped my book so that I could publish his because he
Okay.
asked me that before he passed away.
Oh.
But the point is, the book, the title of that book, my goodness. Oh yes, it would be From a Million Pieces to One.
Oh, wow. Okay, Miss Kang, you want to buy the book? I just got very curious about the title. So it's kind of connecting the dots, and we need to look for that, and we're waiting for that. Uh, so, what is the one habit that helps us to be that purposeful every day that we can start right after this conversation? Or if we have been doing it, keep doing it. And chị Khánh maybe will come back with us and share with us some appreciation or some thoughts after the conversation.
Yeah.
So what is that one habit?
Definitely journaling. I would have to say writing things down.
Good.
Just taking the time. I have my whole spiritual moment in the morning where I pray, I connect, whatever. I start my day always in gratitude, gratitude. But journaling, writing things, because when we are in our head, I know everybody's brain works differently, but definitely just writing it down, making affirmations. They say positive affirmations, saying I'm whatever it is that I'm capable, I'm strong, I'm a successful speaker, I'm a successful business owner. I understand. So whatever, I'm debt free, whatever it is, I'm a happy in my couple. I'm a strong and supportive mother. So just writing things down or what you plan to do short term. That book goes into more the 10 goals exercise and mindstorming. That's why I really encourage people to write it, but really write down. I even write my gratefulness. I start at least 10 to 50 things. I sometimes I get very, I just let the gratitude come out. I'm grateful for my health, for my mobility, for being able to see, and just writing down things and what you plan to do on that day. I feel if you just journal things, you can have a better control and more happiness and more gratefulness, definitely.
Oh my God. High five, virtual high five. Because journaling, like I changed my life, I think, every day with journaling. And I was telling that story that I didn't get on well with my sister. And then when I saw her writing, I was not writing at the time. I was little kid. I, I read that and I started, oh, wow, that was what she thought. So I found like a journal, a piece of writing can really change life. And I think, thank you today. I like you to share with us, though, if you write one sentence about today's conversation, what would be that one? What
You
would you
asking me
write
or the
about?
viewer?
Yeah,
You asking
you,
me?
you, you, yeah.
Yes. So just I would encourage you. We the greatest Bronnie Ware, she's a palliative care nurse. So she was taking care of dying patients. And she
Mm.
interviewed a whole lot of them, like I think hundreds of them. And it was always the same recurring regrets that came up. And
Mm.
the number one was, I wish before people died, they said that they wish they would have lived a life authentically and true to themselves.
Yeah.
But by then it was too late. They were about to die. So I would like to encourage you now to not live a life for what your parents want from you, what your spouse wants from you, or what the whole society expects of you. You really want to live a life that makes you happy, where you feel like you are filled with purpose, something that makes you want to wake up in the morning. You don't need to live like a ghost or like a shadow of yourself. You can step into, who you
Yeah.
really are. So that's what I would like to invite you to, just be true to yourself.
Yeah. And it's interesting because if we think like, so what about all the standards and all the things? Because if everyone lives true to that, themselves, and we all do that, and we actually can get to that optimal and that the collective happiness and joy. Thank you for being that great example with us today. And Miss Kang, want to say, share something to you before I really through our very last question. Chị Khanh want to share your thoughts through watching people interacting online and hearing the topic that I think Miss Kang has a lot to say about, where she overcome her setbacks and she's living with purpose. I feel that.
Thank you very much for all of the great sharings and also your experience about life. I have been like focused on listening and the whole podcast and also reflect to my life. And I'm wondering, like, because I also have my daughters, and she opened her eyes and explore all of the things on social media and different channels. So I'm curious if I should advise her, like what time, which advice to her, if a lot of noise, or just wait until she asks for help to give advice. Because we already experienced that it will reach to a moment that you feel overwhelmed.
Yes. How old is your daughter, Kang?
My daughter is only 11 years old.
Oh, God. Yeah, so it's interesting because children have to live their own experiences. Okay? However, we have to equip them with tools. We have to help them. Because if you just trust the world to, take care of your child, we're in trouble,
Yeah.
And I remember once I almost like strangled my daughter. She was making a mistake. And I said, well, I told her, what are you doing? Like, I told you about this. I told you about my experiences and I didn't want you to, what are you doing? And then she told me, Mother, she was a teenager. Mother, I want to make my own mistakes. And I was thinking, well, like, what is wrong with this child? Like, you have the benefit of, I suffered for years because of this. What are you doing wanting to suffer like me? Anyway, I was very happy. Recently, she told me, I know when I told you this and that, it was not very intelligent. I prefer to learn from other people's mistakes. Like, oh, yes. So going back to your daughter, yes, you want to encourage her. You have to definitely see, because 11, she's still very young and vulnerable. There's a lot of craziness going out there. So you can encourage her by sharing books with her, or maybe accounts that it's positive, good messaging. Who knows what she's watching, right? So just be curious, not like in an authoritarian way. Don't watch this, don't watch that, but just sit with her while she's scrolling, and hopefully, because it also defines the image they have on themselves, with all the filtering, and her whole self-image is going to be defined by whatever she watches. So I would definitely invite you to just be aware of what she watches, maybe even get on those social media platforms, Snapchat or Instagram, so you could see what she posts, what she watches, what she likes. That's what I would encourage you to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, Miss Kang, what is the one thing that you take from today that it would be part of your life?
I really think of the purpose, and we often say YOLO is like you only live once, but should be purposeful. So the time count, and you have no regret afterwards.
So imagine tomorrow morning, like Patricia, in front of the house, the Miss Kang, and ask, "Hello, Kang." What is that life that you envision and you can recreate? Because as Patricia said, that she felt that she could recreate the 14 years there. And it's just like beautiful of how we always can have a choice to make a decision on that moment. And I think thank you everyone for coming with us in the time to reflect back on what we have been doing. It's awesome. Keep the awesomeness and even level it up. And I think it always comes with doing something that not comfortable, and then started getting comfortable with that. So what is the uncomfortable action that Patricia, you think that you will take to really level up your game of helping people, empowering the voice of people? I think today is a bit unstable because you didn't go live before, right? So what is the next thing for you? For Patricia?
Oh, for me, I thought you were
Everyone,
asking
and asking
Can.
you too. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were asking Can. I was waiting for her to respond. So who am I directing the answer to? Just to our viewer? The one thing, yeah, is just to just find what, can I say, if you don't know what your life purpose is right now, it's fine, it's normal, but just to explore, why are you here? Just why are you here, and how can you use your gifts, your talents, your abilities to really do what you were meant to be doing? Because you're here with a reason. You may not know what it is, but you're here for a reason. And if you shut down the noise and you pay attention, I'm sure that you'll be able to figure out what exactly you're supposed to be doing. Yes.
Thank you for bringing it back all together, and always remember the why behind it, and do that kind of work, even if it's not comfortable, but that inner self listening is will be rewarded in the long run. So people want to contact you because you will be keeping that journey to the next level, and you have a lot of stories of people in your podcast and your YouTube channel. So the best way of connect Patricia, and what is the next exciting that we should look for from you? Is this the book of million species come to one?
Oh, Jen, you're motivating me to start writing again. But so definitely, so the best way, where everything is in one place, my website, pattypatsjourney.com, because it has everything on there. But if you want, I would encourage you to follow me and subscribe on my YouTube channel. I have, I don't know, about 60, 70 videos. A lot of them are interviews of some of the best speakers in the world. So Patty Pat's speaking journey and Patty Pat's spiritual journey, if you're interested. And yeah, and to contact me, I'm on 5 social media platforms. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm missing one, LinkedIn. So you can find me. I message to everyone. I'll be happy to connect with you. And the next thing for me, I need to write my next speech, my international speech contest, because that's a platform. I know you're a TEDx speaker and different things, but I'm part of Toastmasters and I'm getting started. So I would just like to have a very good message. Last year, I tried to compete to become world champion of public speaking. I don't believe I'm there yet, okay, but that's another story. The thing is, I just want to try, because I'm going to Bahamas. It's going to be in the Bahamas next August, and I want to at least know that I tried to get a message across. You know, the message that if there's one last thing you can tell the world, I'm going to have 7 minutes to just share that message. So that's one thing I have to start this week, and I need to start writing my speech. So that's the
I'm looking forward to it.
For.
Beautiful beach over there, and with your energy, like all the things that you have done. And I know that the book will be something just in that journey. So we look for all of the things that you're gonna bring to us, and we have a beautiful day ahead. First, beautiful night, and keep up this energy. And love you.
Thank you so much, you too, and keep shining, Jen. You're touching a lot of lives, so thank you so much for your soul and your heart. You're wonderful lady. And Can, I'm so happy I met you too, and it was nice to spend this time with you.
Thank you. It's a beautiful night for us.